My definition of success is ever changing. I might just have to be a legend in the making. Development, come back to it, my stuff be aging. So graciously it served to be the perfect training. Ground that I stay grounded, the sounds that I sounded, it led me to believe that y'all astounded at everything that I was truly capable. But I was so incapable until my brothers kept me so surrounded. I knew that I was destined to win. Set up for success, they out to catch and they second win. Meanwhile, my artist homies just decided to begin, while I was already being blessed with new musical gear. This ain't me bragging, this me looking within.
Table, not touching is better. 1, 2, 3. Action.
Yodael, I just want to say it's a pleasure having you here in my studio, aka Maco's Laboratories. And I feel like it's a dream come true seeing that not only are you somebody that's really responsible for all this happening. I mean, shout out Jesus, right?
Shout out God, man.
But like, your investment led to all this. Like, none of this would have been here if like you didn't believe in me. Keep just like making sure that I'm like making investments into myself and like knowing that those efforts, right, are not in vain, but it just takes time for things to sprout. So,
Yeah.
you know, you really allowed me to have
faith in myself. I'm not good when it comes to interviews or anything recorded, but working on that.
That's cap.
And you too, of course. You know, I'm a little bit experienced in the area, but
There we go.
I want to just really take a moment to say thank you for being here,
Thank you for having me.
and I'm excited for the next drop.
Yep. Pink Lemonade drop, music drop, my drop, whose drop?
Well, I heard an unreleased song in the car, so I'm not gonna say what the title is.
But
You heard an unreleased song?
yeah, what was that one song I heard? I was like, oh, that's yours.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Demo.
I want that to drop.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait till I put a ring on someone, because that's when it drops.
Oh yeah, it's one of those type of songs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for that, and then of course another album because it's been a long time since you dropped an album. But I think you're taking it slowly, step by step, trying to focus on the 3 B's.
Shout out Tony Gaskins, man. Shout out Tony Gaskins. Shout out 3 B's. Get your brain body brand in order.
Correct. Never heard those words before, so
Yeah.
I guess in that type of setting.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, what seems to be the reason for this occasion, my boy? Talk to me, Goose.
you know, I had a great time. Right, driving to Chicago.
Yeah, he's crazy for that, y'all. This
And
guy drove how many hours?
18, 19, if I'm not wrong.
An ungodly amount just to see this guy. This guy, ladies and gentlemen. The uncle.
Uncle L.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a life-changing trip. Almost died. Got pulled over at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, you just, wow.
But all that led to this, right? In addition to like all the steps that you took
Oh.
to make sure that I'm the person I am, the person I currently am, right? Of course, God used you to show me that there's possibilities if I just maybe open my eyes to different areas that I might not be familiar with at first, but could have promising conclusions.
Yep.
But yeah, man, wrapping up grad school, and I'm trying to drop an album. Actually, no, I'm trying to stop saying try to in my vocabulary. I'm going to.
Lord willing.
Lord willing. Thank you for that. Drop a continuation to the Welcome to the Macoverse. So
It's across the Macoverse, ladies and gentlemen. And then we got our 3rd installment called Beyond the Macoverse. I kid. I'm just having fun, but you know.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean,
it's about time I've had a rap album,
Yeah.
and I'm like not just talking with instruments, if that makes sense. You know, Maco.
No kizzy.
So I'm just excited for that, and I'm excited for just where all this is going, bro. Because I mean, this has to lead to something.
Somewhere.
This didn't just happen by accident, you know.
Yeah.
And you're not here by accident.
Nope.
So, I'm blessed, bro. I think saying I'm blessed is an insult.
Yeah.
Because if there was something more than blessed, that's what I would say to you. But like, there isn't anything more than that. So that's all I can say. That I'm blessed to have in my life. Just being a role model, not just in music, but just what it means to be a man after what God wants, right? What God desires, what it is to fear God.
Yeah.
And even like we were kind of talking about dating a little bit.
Shout out dating.
And
is this about to be a dating episode? Cause why?
No,
I got some things.
but I might make some songs around that.
There you go. Music is a reflection. Art is a reflection of society.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So I just want you to know that it's where I'm at right now.
Dating.
No,
Love.
love with music.
Love with music.
But
Sorry,
first, being in love with Christ, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make sure He's my foundation
Amen to that.
before I dive deeper into music, and then have hopefully not an obsessive relationship with music,
Like me.
right?
Yeah, don't be like me in that area.
And you took a couple of notes.
Yep.
No, I took a couple of notes.
Please do. Yeah.
But you did take a couple of notes, because based off those notes, I was able to take notes on what you did and how you're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Which part?
Just your obsession with music and how that kind of allowed you to take a detour.
That's,
If I'm
that's a loaded question.
If I'm not wrong.
No, that's just a loaded question. If you grew up in the Abisha community, they'll say Zephin, 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 and that will scare you. I'm not scared of Zephin. I'm scared of something deeper than that.
What is that?
In this life, you either promote two things, God or yourself. At an attempt to promote yourself, you unintentionally promote the devil kingdom. Point blank, right? How do you promote yourself? Well, you have to get other people's ear. How do you get other people's ear? By becoming like the world, right? So, that's the issue. Not saying don't become like the world or become like the world. What I'm saying is, who are you promoting? I was promoting myself. The difference is, I just didn't say God in most of them. Which is, it's like not bad. I don't think it's bad. Because by that same logic, you can have somebody saying God, God, but they're really promoting themselves.
Yeah.
It's possible. So that doesn't faze me. What phases me is, what do you want to accomplish? Tell me why everybody says Zephin, 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 but nobody talked about selfish ambition. Your own God-given gift can become an idol. That's all I'm going to say. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop making music that is, like, talks about, like, social issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then that's a disservice to being in the forefront of truth, blah, blah, blah. But that just lets me know, like, okay, what's my motive? What's my intention in this? So now I can do surgery in my heart. And a lot of people don't want to address this issue because back then, I was doing it for selfish ambition. But it's like, I used to say something that's like, yo, you know, God, you're like, you know, come, you're more than welcome to be here. You're invited in this situation. And that sounds like a really dope thing to say. It sounds like a really cool prayer, right? But what if you could be more? What if you could say, God, guide me in this situation. Lead me in this situation. What's better? It's not about what's good anymore. It's about what's wise, what's better. So, but they don't teach you this stuff at church. Respectfully. They don't teach you this at church.
Maybe, maybe using God as a stepping stool, does that kind of go into what your selfish ambition was? Or I guess being selfishly ambitious?
Yeah, I mean, it's more so to seek the honor of men. And then now it becomes, I'm no better than a Pharisee who prays out in the open, moving for 24/7, saying, oh, Adonai, blah, 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 you know? So it's like, that shouldn't be the primary thing. And a lot of people are unaware of this. I might be talking to some people right now, and they'll be like, that ain't me. Because I'm talking about God. I'm not saying you're not talking about God. I'm saying you could talk about God, but deep down, you're like, I hope they're looking at me talking about God. That's the uncomfortable Christianity, the real Christianity that convicts you. But people don't teach this. At least I wasn't taught this.
Yeah.
Well, because that's not an issue to them. They all entirely avoid this conversation. So then they'll go, oh, Zephan is bad, but if I'm saying Jesus in my music, it's good. That's very shallow. That's very shallow. Because I could say Jesus, but I'm like saying, pick me, God, deep down in my heart. My heart motive is like, so anyways, I digress.
So I guess my question would be, what would be qualifying for like a song or like an album that the person behind that is like a Christian, right? But it's like, what makes that content Christian more than just saying Jesus in like your lyrics? Like, is there something beyond that?
You can't be anti-God. Let's get that in order. You can't be, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Then you're like saying, she blank on my blank and I blank and blank it, you know? Like, I'm censoring myself. But you can't be of Christendom and then like say stuff that you don't believe in.
Yeah.
Or that's contrary to your belief.
Kind of like Kanye.
No comment. We're not going there. You can't be anti-God.
Yeah.
You just need discipleship.
Okay.
You just need a solid people who could check you. But it's not easy. It's not easy. You're asking a really difficult question because we can't answer this on a global scale. The only thing I can do is I can highlight the situation. I don't have a solution to this problem because that's not where I'm at right now. All I know is I'm going to be careful around this.
Yeah.
But I'll still make a love song. I'll still make a song that like shows how you're supposed to love somebody that's not anti-God. And I don't think I'm in wrong standing with God. But you'll see hints, like little drops. I said I had a song, it's with Jay Klein. And it's like, first should be last, so I'm going to put you first. Let's thank God, not the universe. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not trying to be corny or anything, but it's like, I'm saying it in a genuine way. Like, when you're like the head of the house as a man, if you're like supposed to like lead your whole family,
yeah,
you're supposed to love them, right? You're supposed to put them first. You're supposed to be a servant at heart. That's what you're supposed to lead them when a leader is a servant at heart, right? The first should be last, so I'm going to put you first. If you're the first, that means you go last. You open the door for them. You usher them in. And then you ensure all of them get in, and then you go in last. So the first should be last. I'm the first, so I'm going to put you first because the wife comes after you, the husband. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you're the first, but no, you intentionally let her go first, open the door for her, make sure she's all good, then you go in. And then it continues. That's what that one line meant.
Gotcha.
And then let's thank God, not the universe. Like, that's kind of Christian. You could say that's kind of Christian, right? But I'm not trying to like say, oh, they're going to love this one and write that. Because in the past, that's what I would write. Mm-hmm. But then that's pandering. And then you're seeking the honor of men. But people don't tell you this in songwriting camp. People don't tell you this. You figure this out on your own. So, I mean, I hope this video helps whoever it is that's watching. But as for me, my friend, I have no desire to be somebody's savior in this situation because I'm not. Because then people might come to me saying, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? Why don't you go talk to the Holy Spirit, bro? Like, I am not the ghost, bro. So, I think I'm talking to every individual who watches this. I'm not talking to the whole world.
Yeah.
Some people will get it. Some people won't get it. I'm not here to help you understand. That's God's job, not mine. But music is tricky. So I would not discourage anyone because now you're focused on superficial labels like, oh, you're focused on what's it called? Am I saying Jesus enough in this song? which is so dumb. That's very dumb. You think he cares about how many times you say his name explicitly? No. Sometimes I intentionally like change it up because I don't want it to sound redundant, just from a songwriting point of view. So I hope I'm answering your question. I hope I answered more than.
It's more, I guess it's really about the fruits, right, that come up out as a result of your service, right?
Yeah.
Or like, I may not say Jesus like 7-10 times, but at least if I know that it's directing people towards Jesus rather than myself, and then as a result of that people are being impacted, I think that's what goes into the whole conversation of like, what does it look like to bear fruit, right?
Yep.
Drawing people towards Jesus, you know, being his hands and feet, right, with our service towards one another, being like a source of encouragement maybe, right, through a song. Maybe somebody during like a rock bottom time hears your song and they're just like, all of a sudden they just get hope. And of course that hope is coming from the living word, right?
Yeah.
That I believe, is foundational for our music, right?
Yeah.
So just trying to keep that in mind, like moving forward, like in my craft, I want everything to direct to Jesus, right? Because if it's all about me at the end of the day, then I miss the point and I'm just using God as a stepping stool.
Yeah, and we do that for everything.
Yeah.
It's like when we get so zealous, or like when we get so on fire for him, we're kind of like, we get like so focused on him, which is good, and then we kind of start to drift by saying, God, look at those other peasants. I'm not like them though. You see what I'm saying? Like now you're like, thank you for not making me like that tax collector over there.
Oh yeah.
But the guy is beating on his chest, like, forgive me. Who did he favor?
The guy was beating up on his chest.
So it's like, that's one other example, not just music.
Yeah.
Some people look at God as a means to an end for any of the things. A genie of 3 wishes. God, I'll go to church if I... Blah, blah, blah. So it's like, no. We're talking about somebody who could pierce through, read your intentions. The word pierces through bone, marrow, everything, bro. Flesh and spirit. So it's like, you trying to trick him. It's funny to me, but it's not necessarily tricking him. It's self-deception.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I did it for years. What's to say a 40-year-old man in a Habesha Mazmur setting isn't doing that to himself either? Like, he's not exempt either. We're all fallen. So, I don't like to judge nobody. I'm not here to point fingers, but
Yeah.
that's why it's like, you focus on yourself. You focus on what how you can judge yourself. If you judge yourself now, you won't be judged in eternity. And that means to see if you're like in right standing 24/7. So, I don't know. I wish you the well though, in your music journey, and I hope I can help you process things, but I can't answer that for people, because I'm not saying I have the answers. I don't have the answers. All I'm saying is I saw the problem. How do we fix it? Cling on to him. Duh. But it's easier said than done. That's why I'm not saying it. Because everybody can say, well, guys, you have to do this and da da da. But then they can't do it. What happens when they can't do it? Then the word they said was dead. It's empty. And I don't want to say something I don't mean.
Yeah.
So when we find the answer, my friend, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Absolutely. So, but I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. And I think really as I'm getting deeper and deeper into, just making music and like discovering myself a little bit more, how do you make sure that your passion doesn't become your job? And what I mean by that is like it doesn't feel like it gets dull, where it's like you're doing it every day and then it feels like you're not getting anywhere with it and you're like, oh, where are all these hours going? Like I thought all this investment would take me somewhere, because at times like I feel like I'm just in a hamster wheel where I'm like, okay, I'm doing all this cool stuff and I only have one project out, so I can't really talk as if like I have 10 albums out and I'm not seeing anything happen, but more like I think it's that I get discouraged, where it's like, would it even make sense for me to drop 3 more albums? And will I be in any type of different place, or am I still going to be in the same place? I think that uncertainty kind of drags you deep, and then you start to wonder, am I just going to enjoy this for now, and this won't have any type of say in the future?
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with those doubts, like if you have those doubts, and is there like what keeps you moving forward so that you're not just making music now, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna make music now, and I see me doing this in the future.
What are you trying to get out of making music for the future?
Trying to get my words across a little better. I feel like music helps me do that.
Do you think music is the only way to do that?
For right now, I mean, that's all I'm familiar with. I'm not
That's okay.
thinking
That's
about
fine.
making a book or anything, you know.
I'm not saying that. That's Johnny's department.
Just trying to
For now. There's no limit to what you can and can't do. For somebody who lived, breathed, died music,
yeah.
every opportunity I'm trying to pimp to make a song out of it. That's kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable. In addition to that, you can't really, from what I can gather, and I could be wrong, somebody might prove me otherwise, but
Yeah.
the music industry doesn't look sustainable. Or with the way streams are headed, I don't know. And or even just you have to sell a piece of your soul for it. You have to compromise some type of your integrity. The higher you go, it's like something. The powers that be just won't let it happen to me. It just doesn't make sense. I don't want to stick around and find out. So I wouldn't recommend that path either. So it's like, what do you want out of music? Do you want to make an album? Make that album. I was talking to Jay. This might be personal, but sorry, Jay. He's like, I don't think I have the passion to have the level of artistry. There are some people who are artists. I'm talking locked in. Do not talk to me. Like Jared Leto, method acting, like insane, like artists. I might fall into that category. That's what I'm told by other people. I never claimed it. Then there are some people who are here to just make a dope album, just got like ear candy, and that's it. That's all they want to do, and they're satisfied with that. And they just want to relish in it. That's it. They know their limit. But there are certain people who just want to be famous, and they'll do anything for fame. Careful. That's all I'll say. But then there are other people who just want money.
Mm-hmm.
And they think music is lucrative. That's where a lot of the talent today, the mainstream music is. They just want money, probably had the poor living conditions. I get that. So he'll sell a piece of their soul easily. Like it's nothing. I had nothing before. I had nothing to go back to, so why would I? So then they become a puppet for the industry. So I can't speak on that. I've never been part of the industry. But this is my point of view from the outside looking in. As far as somebody who wants to live a peaceful and quiet life, like it says in the Bible, I have no desire to spread my name from sea to sea. And I also don't want to I don't do music. I don't make music I make music for me, with the hopes that there are others like me who like this music. It could be the sound, the thing I'm saying, the way I'm saying it, meaning how I'm singing it, how I'm rapping it, how I'm delivering it.
Yeah.
Just the specific thing, or just what I stand for. And some people identify with that and they stand behind it. That's what I'm doing. It gets a little tricky when we have a metrics-based performance. It's a game. It's really a game. And we like to compare rappers to each other like a bunch of trading cards. We have, what is it called? Commodified other rappers. This is totally unrelated, but I saw Benzino tearing up on Drink Champs talking about, yo, I hate Eminem, but then by the time he was fully intoxicated, he's crying like, I just love hip hop, man. I don't want to see blah 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 blah. And then his real emotions started to come out. This is clearly someone who has unresolved hatred, and is being pinned against by the public because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Because it promotes negativity. It's juicy, you know, drama. Don't try to get into that. Although, like, there are Christian battle rappers or blah blah blah. That's cool. That might be your vocation. I have no passion in that. But as far as making music is concerned, I just want to make a dope song. I want to make something that is timeless, that can age well. And I want to make something that I can present to the creator as a creative in eternity when I die. So, I mean, you ask me how do I keep going, I take it day by day. I stop. If the well is running dry, I can't think of anything to like think about, sing about, I just stop. It's okay. People don't think it's okay. It's okay. You can stop. Then you can crop rotate. You could do something else. It doesn't have to. If you're time constraining yourself, that's stupid. Don't do that. And if you and you'll know you're like limiting yourself when you can't think of why.
Yeah.
Why am I? Why is time like? What am I racing against the clock for? And if you can't answer that, bro, that's not a goal. That is anxiety. That is fear. That is an unrealistic expectation. And it won't be unmet. And then you'll blame yourself. And then you'll feel worthless. And that's from the devil.
Has an opportunity.
No, it's from the pits of hell, bro. Like, any type of thing that tells you, like...
I mean, like, the devil has an opportunity to, like, use that fear to kind of, like...
Control you.
And just make you feel like you're...
And it's not, like,
time.
compelling you with pulling the strings. It's just discouraging you from going some way, and then... That's still control.
Of course.
If it pans out how he planned it, is that not control? So it's like... Excuse me. So it's like... try not to worry about that. Remember that verse. It's like... Mankind makes plans from their heart, but God orchestrates his steps. Or something like that. It's in Proverbs. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, you told me that yesterday.
Yeah. So I say, let tomorrow like get
Worry about itself, right?
So, as far as music is concerned, that's why. Tell me why when you create. I'm gonna pull you in real quick. When you create,
Yeah.
have you ever made a beat and you get so caught up into it?
Yep.
You're like in the flow state.
Yeah.
You're like not keeping track of time, and you're like catching a vibe, and it's the greatest feeling ever. Why is that? Because you're not thinking of nothing. You're just tunnel vision. You're locked in, and that is the greatest feeling because it's like you are so in the present that the music is kind of taking you. The music is guiding you. You're playing it by ear, and you're trying to. You know what it's like when you're like, gosh, I gotta sing this melody out of my system. It's like an itch. You have to do it. You're compelled to do it. Or like you gotta bang on the table. You gotta something.
Yeah.
You gotta express it. Chase that feeling. Chase that feeling in what you create. And let it take you somewhere. And then step away from it. If you feel like the beat is trash, that is. Step away from it. 2 or 3 or 4 days later, come back to it and do it. So, I hope I'm answering, or more than answering.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
I'm not yapping.
While you were talking, I thought about a conversation I had with Johnny the other day.
Shout out Johnny, man.
And he didn't like mention anybody like specifically, but he was like, yo, Christian rap is just corny.
So I just was really curious, wanted to know your take on, is Christian rap corny? And if you think Christian rap is corny,
Yeah.
why is that?
Let me, sorry about that. Let me wrote something down, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a loaded question.
Because
That is a loaded question.
the label Christian rap gets a bad name, where a lot of people talk about, like, oh, Christian rap, you know, it's like, a lot of hypocrisy. with like the artists that do Christian rap. A lot of people have been, throwing tomatoes at Lecrae, if that makes sense. And I love Lecrae, like his music's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of back and forth going on, and I don't want that to be an opportunity for the devil to like, mislead people, confuse people. And I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but I just want to make sure that how I brand myself, right, part of those 3 B's, focusing on what it is that I'm offering to people, and what is it that I'm standing on, what's my foundation, which is Jesus, right? That's our foundation.
Yeah.
So for you, I know you make music, but you don't go about branding it as Christian rap. Is that correct?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't.
What's your take on that?
Before I start, I'm about to say, here they come. Here they come. And who are they, you ask? Those people in Lecrae's comment section. Volatile. It's the worst place to ever be in. Go to a Lecrae Instagram comment section every day. John Keith, sorry. Your Instagram posts are not Normandy Beach, okay? That's Lecrae's. Second, this is my issue with it, right? I didn't want to jump into that music scene like crazy because I didn't want to deal with the legalists.
Mm-hmm.
I like made bullet points why I don't know how to deal with them. Like I said, Lecrae's comment section is the most volatile place in the world, right beneath Twitter. And in music, I wanted to say something that I was compelled to say, as opposed to, like the Bible is true, like, Jesus is the Son of God, blah, 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 all these things. We believe these facts, but it's much more different when you're compelled to say it. There's like a way where you're like projecting it from your chest. You're saying it with your chest, and you're like, you'll like mean it. The song I just played you, is called Will. And in that song, understand, I didn't want to be like, because I feel like in CHH they'll look at the greats, the current greats. They'll look at the No Big Deals, the KBs, the whatever, Andes, and I freaking love all of them to death.
Yeah.
But then they'll try to rap like them. Or I've seen some type of effect. Like, I've seen how Dilly will be like, y'all should wear the greatest, did it. I'm copying his flow, sorry, Dilly. But then I'll see somebody else kind of mimic that. And then it's like, there's no type of biodiversity in the arts of CHH. Because it's like, and that's anywhere though. Because everybody copies everything is a copy of a copy. Let me make that known. But my issue is that, like, I wanted to be compelled. And I brought up the song Will because I know I've made some Christian songs that are true, but I wasn't compelled. I was trying to pander to this Christian society. But when I made that song I just played, I don't know if you heard the hook, I said, we live and die by these words that was written in red. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but we see between the lines from what we read. I'm a new me. Old me ain't stick around like he said. Looking for him, well, that is dead. And I'm saying it, I'm repeating it. We live and die by these words that was written in red. I'm gonna be real, I don't hear a lot of people like saying stuff like that. If I hear rap music that's Christian, it's like, it's very cookie cutter, it's very direct. But I don't hear some people changing their forms of expression.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates me. And I think you can only say so much. That we're not looking for new ways to express something that's old, that's ancient, that doesn't change. So what does it mean that's written in red? Every page in the Bible that's red is what he said.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, put those two and two together. There are certain times where I don't say God. I'll say Jah in between. I'll say Elohim. I'll say, like, the names of God to, like, switch it up instead of saying Yahweh continually. And that's what I'm saying, like, I think sometimes it can get easy, like an easy cop-out. But that might be the perfectionist in me talking. But as far as CHH is concerned, that's one thing I noticed. And I waited this long to talk about Christ-centered stuff because I hadn't encountered the gospel like I should have. Yeah, I believe the facts, but I didn't have a road to Damascus moment until last year.
Wow.
Where now I'm compelled. It's like now if I'm asked about God, I'm like, yeah, let me roll my sleeves up real quick and let's go. And I'll do it. But I think sometimes people in their songwriting, I'm challenging people, and I'm about to get so much flack if people don't like what I'm about to say. Actually, no, I'm ready for the heat because it's like I'm not above correction either. So from my point of view, I feel like some people think it's corny because the forms of expression that's used is very predictable. I don't think "we live and die by these words" that was written in red is predictable. That just sounds hard to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things where you go, ooh, like what? Or just like, you know what I'm saying? And then there are some songs who are like, yo, that's actually a really nice form of expression. And it's kind of like, I don't get that a lot. And I think from the bar that's being raised, I think there isn't a lot of challenge around. But then I also see people who are bold, people who like are unwavering. So I don't think the foundation is wrong. I just think the expectation is not being met. Like, because then people will think, well, hip hop is kind of ill right now. It's not dying, it's ill. But in that same sense, it's like people want some type of alternative that is not anti-God. But they don't know where to go. Because when they come here, it's like, there are people who either try to sound like the world, but censored, which is, I can see why. So it's like a mild version of Drake or they'll be like just a very, I don't know. And I also think though that some people need to heal from unhealthy, like toxic traits about music. Mm-hmm. So that's a very, we can talk about that for hours. I don't want to talk about that for now, but I say personally for me, I think people think it's corny because I'm not saying it's corny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell y'all what I think.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I think I'm just hypothesizing right now. Everything I'm saying is speculation. But I think my issue with it is that we just like, we're not executing in a very challenging way, in a very
convicting way.
Yeah. And I'm rambling, but maybe some people are just making music to just, you know.
Yeah.
Because money's involved too. You gotta understand it's a business too. Maybe they're doing that so they need to get their album out ASAP. So they don't have time to speak from the soul. They have a due date, right?
For sure.
Maybe it's because, but one thing's for certain, I definitely don't hear a lot of forms of expression that are like, whoa, that challenged me.
It's like too soft, right? You feel like?
I don't know if soft is the right word. I think it's very safe. Mm. And that it gets very predictable.
People trying to avoid cancel culture, right?
That's another thing. I was more so referring to like the songwriting techniques or whatever. But it really sucks. Also, we have to understand that this is not a very appealing message. The gospel's offensive to the perishing, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a very fun thing to say. It's not appealing. It's not captivating because it's offensive. It's going to convict them, and they don't like the uncomfortability from conviction. So there's that aspect too. So it's very nuanced.
Yeah.
But for me, from where I stand, from somebody who makes music, I also don't want to be guilty by association with some people who are like, yo, you should not be rapping, bro. And I think people get, that's another conversation. But I'll just stop right there before it gets...
Yeah. No, thanks for your take on it. You get a lot of different answers, right, from the same...
I think it's that.
...kind of group of people, or like, I guess, for clarity, Christians, right?
Yeah, it gets predictable. Like, if you really think about it, like, if we're only explicitly pulling from the Bible, you'll run out. But if we get songs where I'm applying the Bible in my life, and the song is a reflection of that moment, okay, bet. I got a song about sexual sin and fleeing from it. But you're not going to see me rap about Joseph.
Because you're like...
I'm not
You're
Joseph.
telling your own story.
I'm telling my story and how I wish I would have been like Joseph or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's another. I could talk about how I had sleep paralysis, spiritual warfare, the war for the soul. I can talk about mortifying my flesh. You could be saying like, I'm struggling to mortify my flesh in a very real, raw point of view. And I think CHH was peak, like 2016 era. Oh my gosh, that was a crazy time. The zeitgeist back then was amazing. So, I don't know. I hope something to think about. Chew on that, guys.
Yeah, because I've had my love-hate relationship with like Christian rap, because it's like, you know, cool, they drop a couple bars and it's like, oh yeah, this stuff is really like encouraging, right? It's really adding on to my faith. But then at the same time, it's like, it's the same like you recycling of like content.
I think we said that though, because at a certain point they're playing it safe. So we assumed it was like youth group rap. Because now we have peaceful suburbia, soccer moms who want to play their music that's kind of cool for their kids, as opposed to their kids' friends playing them music that's like that's like worldly and carnal and misleading or anti-God. They want something safe, which is truth, right?
Yeah.
And although that is true and it is good, it's like at a certain point that gets very predictable. And people want music about how they're struggling to know they're not alone. They need the soundtrack of their lives on record, and they need somebody to do that. And there wasn't a lot of challenge for that. But then there are some the songs are just so hard, like they're just like, yo, like this is just tough overall.
Yeah.
Sonically, this sounds amazing. But some people are not gonna like that, and that's a style thing. So, I don't know, but I do think the business side of it is there, spiritual side of it is there, the artistic side of it is there. We could go on for hours and hours. So then, if I would challenge your brother, who are the artists you don't like? Then we could get to something concrete.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a conversation worth having on camera, because then it's gonna look clout chasing, and I'm not here to clout chase. Trust me, I don't need the attention. I need attention to the music, but not in a negative manner, and I'm not here to be divisive. But I'm gonna call out something I don't like.
Yeah.
Because if the ecosystem is just cringe or corny, or if it's just out of touch with reality, because we think reality is reflection, our music is a reflection of society, and we don't see anything that reflects our reality, we're not going to tune in. And so, who knows? Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see what people say. So if they could comment this, leave the comments on.
Yeah.
Get ready for high engagement. But thank you for asking that question. I've never really thought about it in grave detail. I've just thought about why I didn't want to pursue it.
That's right.
But never from a big macro point of view. So, yeah.
Any questions for me?
How's your day been?
Well, I had a blast. I had breakfast tacos with you. I mean, you had something else, but I had breakfast tacos at, what's this spot called?
Don't tell them. Oh, too late.
Oh, censor. Oh.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. So what do you expect people out of this conversation? Where are you going to put this? I don't know what you're going to do with this, but I'm going to let you have fun with it.
I'm just trying to look at my storyline, where I started, right? Like figuring out who I am, and I loved what you talked about when you talked about like figuring out what's your identity, like what is that? Are people having an identity crisis? If that is the case, how do you go about, working on that? So
Follow up with me. Maybe in a year or two.
yeah, and I'm trying to find my identity in Christ, because I feel like if I find it in anything else, it's just gonna perish.
That's an idol. Anything except for
And I don't, like, as much as I love music, I don't want to be defined by this. I want to be defined by, what God's
yeah, take it
word
from me.
says, you know what I mean?
Take it from me. Yeah, but it's so easy to say.
It is easy, and I'm worried about that because I don't want to get too like just on top of it where I'm like, oh, this is the way to go. Like it sounds smooth, right? I guess sounds ideal too, but then maybe because I'm not really being tested yet, or like I don't have an idea what that looks like.
Yeah.
I think that's when it'll break me, and then hopefully makes me,
That's how he works.
right? Breaks me to make me.
That's how his perfect love perfects you. It's not fun. Read James. Read James. James is not fun. James is not like a very spiritual Zen book.
Yeah.
James is just down to earth. Really stuff you don't want to hear. But it's real. Stuff that's like not really appealing.
Yeah.
It's not as Zen. But it's real. It's very down to earth. Check out James. That's where I'm at.
2, 3, 4.
The whole book.
Cool.
The whole book of James.
Noted. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's curious, but I'm hoping for one of these days, once I kind of get more established, or, finish grad school, like in a month and move out, definitely I want to have that conversation of, me featuring you on a track. I think it's about time we take things past ambulance. Ambulance was like a little highlight, but I think that was more of a to see how can I prove it to you that I'm like really invested in. I mean, the studio should already say a lot on how invested I am, but
Get that project out, yeah.
get that project out, and I'm looking forward to possibly collaborating with you.
Get at me.
And yeah, man. I mean, would you have any last words for me?
Remember the Lord in the days of your youth. God is in Austin. That's an inside joke, y'all.